A viewer named James reached out with something we haven't stopped thinking about. He has 2 Maltese dogs. Same breed, same age, same house, same owner, same everything. And yet, when they walk across the living room floor, they move completely differently. One dog walks with a synchronized gait. Left legs together, right legs together, side to side, almost like a camel. The other walks with an alternating gait. Front right with back left, front left with back right. The diagonal pattern you probably think of as normal dog walking. Same breed, same home, different walk. Now, you might look at this and think, well, one's just lazy. Or maybe one has a quirky personality. Or maybe, and this is what most people would say, it's just random. Dogs walk how dogs walk. Here's the reality. It's none of those things. What you're seeing when those 2 Maltese cross the room is not personality. It's not randomness. It's biomechanics, neurology, and 15,000 years of domestication, all expressed in the way 4 paws hit the ground. And by the end of this video, you're never going to look at your dog's walk the same way again. Let's get into it. Before we can understand why those 2 Maltese walk differently, we need to name what they're doing. The synchronized walker, legs moving together on the same side, that's called a pace gait. Left front and left back swing forward together, then right front and right back. 2 beats, side to side. It's the same gait camels use in the desert. And honestly, when a small fluffy dog does it, it looks slightly ridiculous. But it's not. It's physics. The alternating walker, diagonal pairs moving together, that's a trot. Front right with back left, front left with back right. It's the default canine gait, the one most dogs settle into when they're moving with purpose. It's stable. It's efficient. It's the gait you picture when you think dog walking. Now, here's what's interesting. Dogs actually have 6 distinct gaits: walk, amble, pace, trot, canter, gallop. Each one is a different solution to the same problem. How do I move this body from point A to point B using the least energy possible? And here's the part most people never think about. The gait your dog chooses isn't a conscious decision. Your dog doesn't wake up and think, you know what? I'm feeling trottish today. The gait is selected by physics and neurology. Your dog's body solving an optimization problem that its brain isn't even aware of. So the real question isn't, why do these 2 dogs walk differently? The real question is, what optimization problem is each body solving? Let's start with the body itself, what it's made of, how it's shaped, because that's where gait begins. Every dog has a center of mass, the point where its weight is perfectly balanced. In a typical dog, that point sits just behind the front legs, somewhere in the chest. But here's the thing. That center of mass isn't in exactly the same place on every dog. Even within the same breed, even within the same litter, a difference of just a few millimeters in where that center of mass sits changes the math of movement entirely. When a dog trots, that diagonal pattern, its body is constantly shifting weight from one diagonal pair to the other. Front right and back left push off. Front left and back right catch the weight. This creates a kind of rotational stability. The spine stays relatively level. The head stays steady. It works brilliantly if your center of mass is positioned for it. But if your body is slightly longer relative to your leg length, or if your center of mass sits a fraction further back than the breed average, the trot stops being efficient. The diagonal weight transfer creates a rocking motion. More energy is wasted stabilizing the spine. More muscle fatigue sets in over distance. Enter the pace. In a pace gait, both legs on one side move together. The weight doesn't rotate diagonally. It shifts laterally, side to side. For a longer-bodied dog, or a dog with a slightly different center of mass, this lateral weight shift is actually more energy efficient than the trot. Less vertical displacement of the center of mass, less wasted motion. Here's the specificity spike that makes this real. When researchers measure the metabolic cost of locomotion in dogs, they find that the difference between an efficient gait and an inefficient one can be up to 20%. For a small dog, that's the difference between a comfortable walk across the park and genuine fatigue halfway through. A pacing Maltese isn't broken. Its body is solving a physics problem. The pace is the most energy-efficient solution for that specific body, that specific skeleton, that specific muscle distribution, that specific center of mass. The body picks the gait. The brain just goes along for the ride. But biomechanics is only the first layer. Here's the one that breaks people's brains a little. You probably assume your dog's walk is controlled by its brain, the same way your walk is. You decide to cross the room. Your brain sends signals down your spinal cord, your legs move. Dogs don't work like that. Not entirely. The basic rhythm of a dog's gait isn't generated in the brain at all. It's generated in the spinal cord, by clusters of neurons called central pattern generators, or CPGs. These are neural circuits that produce rhythmic motor output without any input from the brain. They're the reason a chicken can run around after its head is removed. They're the reason your dog's legs twitch in coordinated running patterns during deep sleep. The brain modulates, it adjusts speed, it decides direction. But the fundamental rhythm, the heartbeat of locomotion, lives in the spine. And here's why this matters for our two Maltese. Central pattern generators don't develop identically in every individual. During puppyhood, as the nervous system matures, these spinal circuits are shaped by use. Every step a puppy takes reinforces a pattern. The neurons that fire together wire together. Most puppies start out pacing. Watch a litter of 6-week-old Maltese puppies. They all pace, side to side, wobbly, uncoordinated. The Wikipedia entry on Canine Gait states it plainly. The pace is often used by puppies until their muscles develop more. It's the starting point. As they grow, as bodies find their adult proportions, most of them transition to a trot. The CPGs are gradually rewired by experience, each step shaping the neural architecture of movement. But, and this is the key, that transition isn't guaranteed. For some dogs, the pace pattern is so deeply reinforced during those critical early weeks that it persists into adulthood. The spinal cord has learned one way to walk, and it doesn't unlearn it. The neural pathways are set. Two puppies, same litter, same early environment. One set of CPGs matures one way, the other matures differently. Two different walks, for life. It's not personality, it's not choice. It's the developmental history of the spinal cord, written in neural pathways that no amount of training will rewrite. But we still haven't answered the deepest question. Why can two dogs of the same breed walk so differently? Why isn't there a single Maltese gait? The answer sits in roughly 15,000 years of domestication, and in what the Maltese was actually bred for. Maltese dogs are ancient. We're talking at least 2,000 years, possibly much older. They appear in Greek and Roman art. They sat on the laps of aristocrats. They were bred as companion dogs, status symbols, living ornaments. Their defining traits were size, temperament, and that long white silky coat. Notice what is not on that list. Speed, endurance, herding, hunting, guarding. None of the jobs that would demand a specific, standardized gait. Now compare that to a German Shepherd. German Shepherds were bred to trot, all day, alongside shepherds, covering miles of terrain. The trot is the most energy-efficient gait for sustained movement over distance. Generations of selection for that job produced a breed where the trot is practically hardwired. The body is shaped for it. The CPGs are biased toward it. Or take the Greyhound. The Greyhound's double suspension gallop, where all 4 feet leave the ground twice per stride, is a product of thousands of years of selection for pure speed. You don't see Greyhounds pacing. They can't. Their bodies and nervous systems have been sculpted for one thing: explosive velocity. The Maltese? No such pressure. No job demanding a specific gait. And here's the rule. When there is no selective pressure to standardize a trait, variation flourishes. The Maltese wasn't bred to move. It was bred to sit on your lap and look beautiful. And that lack of selective pressure on locomotion is exactly why two Maltese in the same house can walk completely differently, and why both of them are perfectly, biologically correct. Let me give you one more piece of evidence that seals this. The American Kennel Club, the organization that literally writes the rule book on what every breed should look like and how it should move, says this directly. Even among dogs bred for the same purpose, gait can differ. Even the AKC admits it. Even in purpose-bred working dogs where gait is actively selected for, variation persists. And in dogs where no gait was ever selected for, like the Maltese, that variation isn't a bug, it's an inevitability. Your dog's walk is a fingerprint. No two are exactly the same. Think about what that means. Every time your dog walks across the room, you're watching a unique solution to a multi-layered optimization problem. The body's biomechanics, bone lengths, muscle attachments, center of mass, negotiating with the spinal cord's learned motor patterns, shaped over millions of years of canine evolution, all converging on a single, fluid motion that is entirely, unmistakably your dog's. That pacing Maltese, its body found a solution that works. The trotting Maltese, its body found a different solution. Neither is wrong, neither is broken. They're both the product of an exquisitely complex system, doing exactly what complex systems do, producing variation. So let's land this. When you watch those two Maltese walk side by side, one pacing, one trotting, you are not seeing a quirk, you are not seeing personality, and you are definitely not seeing randomness. You are seeing three layers of explanation, stacked on top of each other. Layer 1, biomechanics, the shape of each body, skeleton, muscles, center of mass, solving for the most energy-efficient way to move. For some bodies, that's the trot. For others, it's the pace. The physics of the body picks the gait. Layer 2, neurology, central pattern generators in the spinal cord, shaped during puppyhood, creating motor patterns so deeply ingrained, they become automatic for life. Same litter, different neural development, different walks. Layer 3, evolution and breed history. The Maltese was bred to be a companion, not a worker. No selective pressure on locomotion. And where there's no pressure to standardize, variation flourishes. It's not a defect, it's freedom. Your dog's walk is the visible expression of invisible forces, physics, development, and deep time, all converging on 4 paws hitting the ground. And no two dogs in the world do it exactly the same way. Here's what I want you to do. Next time your dog walks across the room, really watch. Don't just see, my dog is walking. See the pace or the trot. See the weight shift. See the biomechanics. And then drop a comment. What's the strangest thing your dog does that you've always wondered about? Maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's something else entirely. Whatever it is, put it in the comments. We might just make it the next episode. If you want to understand the science behind the animals you share your life with, hit subscribe. New episodes every week. Thanks for watching. That's Instinct.